Hello everyone, welcome back to Fanblade. It's episode 2 of the base 6 build for the end of 2024. In fact, it may even be 2025 by the time you're watching this. Now, where we got to with the neck last time is that it is ready to be declamped and worked on. I'm kind of hoping to, at the very least, get this cut down to shape today, because then I can mark out the neck pocket. I need to do the neck pocket on the body before I can do anything else, because everything's going to have to line up with that. Because I'm going to have to spend quite a long time carving this body out, longer than I would normally spend on it anyway, so I want to get on with that, but of course, got to work on the neck first. I did quite a lot of talking in the last video, probably going to do less talking and more work this time, because there's actually quite a lot of work to do. It may feel like I have infinite holidays, but that, sadly, is not the case. So, let's go. Well, that's a pretty good neck. Still got a few saw marks in it, but we haven't even carved it yet, so they'll all get taken away in due course. It's looking good. Now, before I radius the board, I want to address some of the amazing comments that I received on the last video, and man, oh man, you lot never disappoint, eh? Lots of people decided to weigh in on the electronic side of things, not only to do with the original Fender Bass 6s, but also with options for this one. There is a lot of good information in those comments. There is a lot of rabbit holes to go down, and I'm still collecting my thoughts, but when we come to do the electronics on this one, I will be doing a deep dive. But the comment that absolutely takes the cake comes from Tablitz Effect, who mentioned that one of the original problems with the original Fender Bass 6 is the fact that the bridge didn't have enough space to intonate properly. So, I came out here and I took a close look at my bridge, and what I found was that I was going to have the exact same problem. This saddle is as far forward as it can go before it runs out of spring. Like, that's actually just fun to do. I've done that twice already. Whereas this one is all the way back, and the difference between those two measurements is only 7mm. That is not enough angle for a bass. So thank you to Tablitz Effect for that gold-plated heads up. You saved me a lot of pain, because if I'd discovered that on the setup bench after everything else was done, there would have been quite a lot of pain and suffering, possibly even some swearing, which I don't normally like to do on this channel because I like to think of it as a family show. Anyway, let's radius a fingerboard, shall we? Well, that's a bit nice, isn't it? It's very neck-looking, which I suppose was the point. I have left a little bit of extra thickness on it, just to try and support the extra 2 strings. Normally I would go for sort of 21, maybe 22 mil thickness across there, but it is a nice even 23.5 all the way down, so that's good. Feels quite good in the hand, but I like a slightly sort of chunkier neck anyway. I'm also very proud of the volute. I think that might be one of the nicer volutes that I've ever carved. Yes. I'm not as much of a fan of the way that the scarf join turned out, because Quilla as a timber can be quite variable in shade. I mean, even from that bit to that bit, you know, it just goes all over the place. And it just so happens that I wound up with a light bit joined to a dark bit, and yeah, that's just straight up ugly to me. I do not like that. The solution, I think, will be to actually ebonize the entire neck. Not just the fingerboard, but the entire thing. The other problem I had is that I decided to test this particular fingerboard because this piece of Quilla is from a different plank than the rest of it, and again, it's very changeable. So I just decided to test an offcut, and yeah, it doesn't really take the ebonizing quite as well. Sort of just went a little bit dirty. I tried a little bit of super glue on it to finish it. That helps, I think. But I'm not too sure. I tried just the super glue by itself. I mean, that's just the way it's going to look. But where I think I'm going to get the best results is actually some dark brown stain. With super glue on it, I think that's going to give me the darkest results. So, yeah, I'm going to stain this entire thing dark brown and then finish it with super glue. I don't know if it'll make that disappear entirely. You'll probably still be able to see it a little bit, but it'll certainly make it a lot less visible. It's not going to stick out quite as far. But before I do that, I want to pop my logo in there. Now, normally when I engrave my logo, I like to fill it with some gold sparkle nail polish and then drop some epoxy, or probably in this case I'll use the UV resin because it's way faster. For this one though, because we're going for a sort of a dark brown and chrome look, I've actually got a silver paint pen. I'm considering doing an engraving on the 12th fret, although I'm uneasy about that as well. I think I might just leave that clean. I do like a nice clean fingerboard. Well, that's a little bit of a fail in a couple of regards. First of all, the silver paint just looks grey. It doesn't look particularly exciting. I am hoping that when I put some finish on there, that'll give it its shine back. But at the moment, it doesn't look particularly promising. The other major fail was that I wasn't expecting the stain to actually stain the UV resin. That was unexpected. So it's all gone a little bit patchy, and I've sort of tried to clean it up as best I can, but we do have the issue that when I go to put some superglue finish on here, that is going to pick up some of the stain, and it's going to even out all of the patchiness in the stain, but it's also going to put stain back into the UV resin. That might just wind up being brown, and I might just have to live with that. But now we know. Like I say, I make the mistakes so that you don't have to. I'm going to put some side dot markers in this, and then, yeah, some coats of super glue just to get it sealed, and then we can look at putting the frets in. Alright, this has had a bit of time to dry now, and it's not looking too bad for a first coat. Obviously it's quite rough and I'll need to knock the furry bits down and then give it a few more coats, but it's looking alright. I am claiming a partial win with the stain because that discoloration on the back is all but vanished. You'd never know that was there unless you were looking for it. The logo, however, I am not 100% happy with. I'm hoping that subsequent coats will help that sort of shine up a bit better and sort of pop the way that I'd hoped it would, because at the moment, yeah, it just looks a bit grey and dull, doesn't it? Yeah. It also looks a little bit brown, which is not something that I had anticipated, but oh well, you live, you learn. That's the whole point. So yes, I will get on and put a bunch more coats on this and get it ready for fretting in the next video. So yeah, that's where we're going to call it for now. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. Happy New Year, and I'll see you in a couple of days. Cheers.